Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast slash video slash whatever you're tuning in on today. I'm super excited today because I'm interviewing Shan Withnell, who is a coach and former bodywork, massage therapist and intuitive healer who's currently doing women-centered coaching. Welcome, Shan. Do you want to let us know a little bit about your process or just a little bit about
Hi, Natasha. Hi,
Hey.
thank you so much. Well, I was doing body work for a very, very long time and realized that there were some missing pieces. So
Mm,
I kind of, no, I didn't fall into hypnotherapy. I kind of went looking for something that would fit those pieces
yeah.
and found rapid transformational therapy. And from there, it evolved into heart healing, which is another different modality that works on inner child healing and
Mm,
relational trauma, that kind of stuff.
mm.
And I was working beautifully with that and getting amazing results with that. And then I realized that in my follow-up support calls,
Yes.
I was missing some skills. So then
Hmm.
I found woman-centered coaching and went, oh my God, that's the missing piece.
I just love those
Because
words, woman-centered. Like, yes.
yeah, so what I realized was a lot of the stuff that we hear and that we learn is was developed by men, a lot of
Uh,
the time for men,
hmm.
and it doesn't take into account the way women are and the way they see themselves and what they
Mm,
believe is possible for themselves. And so much
mm,
of that's just cultural and societal. We've grown up with it and we don't know, a
mm.
lot of us don't really know any different because that's the way it's always been.
Yeah.
And using this kind of more feminine approach, both in the heart healing and in the coaching, unlocks the potential, it unlocks the vision, it unlocks the kind of possibility
Mm,
because it supports women through all those moments where I think women are particularly prone to not asking for as much and not believing they can achieve as much. You know, women very often dream a lot lower than men do.
mm.
And then the other thing is the big fear that if they are successful, they'll be chopped down at the knees because
Yeah.
because you can't succeed as a woman here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were just talking before we clicked record about beliefs because it's been really activated for me lately. Just seeing myself trying to move through different beliefs and how do I even become aware that something's a belief? Because when I'm seated in it, obviously I believe that. I believe a certain thing about the world or society or reality. And that's, this veneer that coats everything I look at. And
Mm.
sometimes they're not really in my best interest. And I've been talking with friends about it, like, how do we help each other to see that that might be a limiting belief? Because often when I've tried in the past to say, mention it to a friend, it hasn't gone well. Like, who can we have in our life that can help us, that we have enough trust and intimacy with to just say, oh, I mean, anyway, I don't know what you would say to someone. And I guess that's where it comes in, to have someone outside out those relationship structures who might be able to help us see our beliefs.
Well, sometimes I'm just thinking about how you could do it for yourself. Obviously, it helps to have someone there who can go, is that really true? What's the real story?
Yeah.
Like,
How do we identify them ourselves when we're living it?
exactly, because we can't see it when
Mm,
we're in it,
mm.
unless someone holds a mirror up. Like often
Uh-huh.
for me, it might be my daughter who goes, well, I'm not putting up with that.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to do it that way. And I kind
Uh-huh.
of go, oh, we were told to do as we had to do what we were told. We didn't kind of,
Uh-huh.
you know, confront authority and say things. But um, yeah, there are some questions that you can ask yourself, I think, about if you see a pattern repeating.
Right.
So, for instance, some of the people that I work with own small businesses,
Oh, yeah.
and they might have a pattern repeating where, for instance, they always go over time,
Oh, yeah.
you know, and it just goes on and on and on. And they can't seem to be able to rein it back into that 1 hour session or that
Yes.
90-minute session or
Yes.
something. And I'm talking about things that I was always guilty of, or things like, oh, undercharging.
Yes.
Oh, I'll give you a discount, or, oh, it'll be mates rates today, or
Mhm.
even sometimes not charging at all.
Yep.
And you come down to, what's that about? And when you hear, when you kind of look at the pattern and you go, this might be the third person this month or this
Hmm.
week that I've run over time on, or what is it? Why am I doing that?
Yes. So you think that the self-awareness arises is the first sort of step, just
I
noticing
think
a
so.
pattern. Uh-huh.
And then sometimes I think people get stuck in that. Why am I doing that? I can't seem to get over
Oh
that. I
yeah.
can't seem to find my way through that.
Mm,
And then sometimes it takes somebody asking a question, or sometimes you can be looking at it and going, so what's happening here?
mm,
I'm always running over. Why is that? Is it because, the story I told myself was, I want to finish the job. I don't want someone to leave half cooked.
right.
I don't want them to leave while they're still in a fix or they've still got, when I was doing massage, when they've still got, you know, we've kind of sorted out 80% of the pain, but we
Yeah.
haven't got rid of all of it. And I want to get finished, I want to make
Yes.
sure they walk out the door whole. And without really realizing that 80% is actually good enough. And then if they come back next week, it'll be easier
Mm,
and more efficient and
mm,
fit into time, but also they'll probably get the benefit of having had two treatments rather than trying to fit everything into one.
yep.
And then when I thought about it, it was the story I was telling myself was I don't want them to leave half cooked.
Yep.
But when I looked at it even more, it was I want them to think that I'm really good at what I do.
Yeah, right.
I want to be seen as, a great therapist. I want to be liked,
Yep.
all of those things. And then I boiled that down to, oh, actually, I'm feeling like I'm not good enough.
Yeah. And so is this just like sounds to me like you're just in a self-reflection process. And when I'm hearing you say that, I'm thinking, oh, I get to that place sometimes through journaling where I'm just
Mm.
writing things out and I'm not filtering. And then I get to see something written down. And also in Women's Circle, because that's quite a free space where I can just say whatever and I know no one's going to hold me to it. And then I hear myself say it. And that's when I start to question, oh, I don't actually like that's what I think. So
Mm.
yeah, I think is there other tools that you think might work like the self-reflection or journaling or talking it out with someone? They're kind of
You know
two.
what? I love all of those. I think
Yeah.
journaling's so good, especially if you can get into a point where you're just writing without thinking or editing and come back
Yeah.
to it the next day or later and you go, wow, that's so in your face. How could I
Mm,
miss it? I think is really
mm,
powerful. Uh,
mm. Oops.
and processes for actually finding what those stories are. What's
Sorry,
the
I think I lost you for a second. What did you say just before the processes? You've used some different ones. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, in
Okay.
the woman-centered coaching model that I use,
Yep.
there are some really beautiful processes for uncovering those stories.
Yeah, great. Like journal
But
prompts.
yeah, well,
Okay.
even journal prompts as we're talking, we can we can go into a not really a trance, more like a kind of I was going to say we access kind of the subconscious just through doing a small process. We go into the subconscious
Yep.
and like, what's the story here with
Hmm.
little prompts, and then they go, oh, I'm alone, and what, and
Yes.
in a world where I'm alone, what are other people? Oh, other people are always busy.
Uh-huh.
And what happens in that when you're alone and other people are always busy? Well, I can't possibly thrive. I can't be
Mm,
successful. That
mm.
was my story the first time I did that process.
Yeah.
And then there are, so many stories, so many patterns that are common through everybody has, various stories. I'm not
Yeah.
worth anything, or I'm not enough, or
Yeah.
I'm bad, or I don't deserve. There are all these stories, and then
Yeah.
the reason why might be different for each person.
Yep.
And then once you get that awareness, it's easy
Mm.
then to, or easier, not always easy, to see how it's playing out in your life and how are you creating that.
Yes. And I find often it gets a bit thresholdy. Like I'll become aware and then I kind of do these spirals around where I'm aware, I think I've made a change, then there's something gets gritty again, and then I threshold and I'm aware again. Oh, I'm back here. for a long time I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm back here. Like, oh God, what's wrong with me? Haven't I learnt this lesson? And then I kind of embraced this spiral like mindset where when I come back, I've always got one extra tool that I gained on my cycle around. So when I come back, which is probably invariably going to happen because I'm not enlightened, I've been born human, so that when I cycle back, I'm more in a place of familiarity and grace instead of familiarity and judgment. And I guess like that's just working with it for a while.
And I think in that process, it's like an onion, isn't it? You peel off, or actually each time you spiral, you've got more tools, you've got
Yeah.
more awareness, you've
Yeah.
got more self-acceptance, I think,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to, first of all, forgive yourself,
Mm.
and it's easier to move through faster. So I think each time you come back to it,
Mm.
you
Mm.
can move through it faster
That's what I notice. Yeah.
um and more gracefully, as you said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed
Mm.
that. So I guess once someone's got awareness and it's getting to that thresholdy part where it's really sticky and it's like just eked out by our own mindset, is there another step, do you think, that a person could take?
Well, there are lots of steps, but the thing that I really love doing
Yeah.
is doing a heart-centered heart healing
Yeah.
hypnotherapy
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
Where in that session we journey into the heart,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't do kind of regression as in what happened to you.
Yes.
It's more about who made you feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
Who made you feel that way? And usually, very often, it's an early childhood
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And then we either heal that relationship, or we cut off that relationship, or we set up a protection, an energetic protection around that
Mm.
relationship. And then from there, with obviously after the healing, then we do, I guess it's a bit like affirmations, you are
Yes.
enough. And
Yeah.
all those reasons why you are enough. And then I make a recording so that they listen to that for up to a month or more, whatever.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And they can sleep through it, and then that kind of reinforces all the good stuff. And in
Mm.
the meantime, in the support calls or the coaching calls, then we're looking at evidence for why you are enough, or why you are worthy, or why
Mm.
you aren't alone, because people are offering to help you out, or people are
Mm.
saying yes when you ask for help.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about that as well, that the reticular activating system, which is that part of your brain that, when you believe something, then it likes to give you a lot of evidence to support that. And I was remembering this time I was launching a course and I really just didn't believe in the course. I thought, oh, nobody really wants this. And I got on this big downer and that's all I could see. All I could see was no sales. And I went to my bank statement and looked and there was no money had come in. And then I came back later and looked again when I changed I don't know how I snapped out of that mindset, but something happened. I snapped out of it. And then I went back and looked, and there actually had been a payment there, but I just hadn't been able to see. I couldn't believe it. Like, it was the first time I really went, oh my God, my RAS is off the charts. Like, I have to be really careful because when I believe something, it's very potent. Like, it's really going to reinforce that message. And I don't know where I was going with that, but. It also reminds me of lost my train, lost it
I was going to say,
completely.
what you put out there is what you see, isn't it?
Exactly. It's
And
that.
it's really hard to see something different until you open the possibility that
Yeah.
there might be something
And
different.
it's almost magical. Like, it's quite full
Mm.
on how beliefs can just, change everything once I manage to unlock one or tease one out and start questioning it. I think
Mm.
it's that questioning phase that's kind of exciting now. It's like, oh, such a relief. And then, oh God, if this isn't true, it's a bit unfamiliar. It's a bit tender initially, and I imagine having those recordings would be, creating a lot of soothing in that initial phase, which can feel quite tender.
A lot of soothing, a lot of safety.
Mm,
I build in a lot of safety in the whole process.
mm.
And the other thing I do that I hadn't actually mentioned to you earlier was I do these beautiful vision board workshops
Oh, lovely.
where,
Love
again,
those.
you're triggering that reticular activating system,
Yeah.
and by my workshop isn't where you just kind of stick pictures on a board. We do lots of preparation for it and meditations for it and all
Mm.
that stuff. And then after the pictures are on the board, and usually they're representative of how you want to feel rather than what you want
Yeah.
to buy, get,
Yeah. Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
And then we decode it.
Mm.
So what is your subconscious telling you about your vision board?
Hmm.
What's it telling you about your past? What's it telling you about the people who are here to help you? What's it actually telling you about what you want?
Mm.
It might be sometimes it's really surprising because people go, "Oh, I didn't realize that." But then once they realize it, it's like that awareness has been awoken again.
Yeah,
Mm,
exactly. And
mm.
that reminds me, I remember what my train was before as well. I remembered that lately I've been using the moon. And so on the dark moon, I've been trying to choose something that I release,
Yeah.
and it's usually a mindset.
Mhm.
And often on the new moon, I'll try and call in for that moon cycle a new mental frame that I want to explore. And I find as soon as I do that, life kind of delivers me. Like, say, my resolve is I want to feel peaceful. And life throws me all these ways where I'm showing up that aren't creating peace in my life. So
Mm.
I do try to be a bit careful now because I've put some things out there that have made my months really intense. And say this month, my resolve was around not, releasing people pleasing and making sure my calendar is spacious. So, of course, yesterday, full moon, full scale, like life throwing all this stuff at me and me people pleasing. And I was like, oh, just, it needs to go. So I think like it can be quite fun. Like, I don't know, it's taken me a few cycles of the moon to sort of see how the process unfolds because initially I was more like halfway through the waning moon that I became aware of what my intention was. And sometimes there was a bit of a delay for me on,
Mhm.
yeah, new moon. I'm like, okay, have an intention. And it just didn't work. But yeah, now I'm a few cycles in, I've sort of got a different flow. And that's a really fun way to work with beliefs as well.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that because it's such a natural rhythm as well.
Mm,
It's working with that natural nature rhythm,
yeah.
and it gives you a nice time frame as well to work through something
Yeah.
without getting bogged down in it. You know that there's an end in sight as well.
God, next month I need to make a different intention.
Yeah.
I'm done with this. Yeah, but I have noticed the progress, and it just is challenging when I'm inside my process of like I am aware that I'm living with a bunch of rando beliefs that aren't really necessarily supporting me, and
Mm.
yeah, there's therapy like psychologist type therapy, but I love something a bit more tactical than just talk therapy, like I really like, yeah, journaling prompts and other ways of looking at it. And I adore hypnotherapy. I found it's just really powerful way to shift things.
I think it's powerful because you can get underneath that conscious narrative that runs you think is running the show, and we're so tightly controlling everything. And then if you can get underneath that, you can actually find what's really going on, and you
Yeah,
can actually change that at that really base level, which can then play out in your day-to-day living and conscious awareness. And I think that's really powerful,
yeah.
actually. Mm.
And I think as women, we do come in, like, I don't know about other women, but being younger, falling in love, becoming a mother, a lot of those things for me were very like, oof, oof, like they just come on and they're their own rites of passage. And I think it's not
Mm.
until where we are now, a bit later, where, yeah, maybe we have younger like children who can help illuminate us that things are different. Or I think menopause has been cooking me up as well. Like,
Mm.
oh, okay, finally my kids are a bit bored with me. I've got a minute just to think about me and my life. And it could
Mm.
be illness. Like I ended up in hospital having a blood transfusion. I had all this time just to think like, why do I have to come to hospital to have a rest? Like that's not great. I need to, something's got to change here. And I think a lot of us have these big moments around this time of life where it's really
Yes.
like, oh my God, now me. And even what is that?
What is that? I
Yeah.
think I think you're right. I think we're so busy. I mean, I think our generation's slightly different because a lot of us are having kids later.
True.
So we're in that kind of, still looking after kids or young adults, supporting them, but we're also looking after parents.
Exactly.
And often we are working as well. We're not kind of, you know, it's not like we've got this lots of open space, but it seems to be around menopause where even with all of that going on, we kind of go, who actually am I and what do I really want? And
Yeah.
what's the rest of my life going to look like? And those big questions,
Yes.
and you need time to answer them. You can't just
Yeah.
go, oh, that's what I'm going to do.
No. No, I had to just the other week I just borrowed a friend's van and I just left. I was like, I'm leaving home. I've grown up now and I'm leaving home and I'll see you guys in a week and just had to really claim that time. And I think that's a new practice for me is not leaving it until it's crisis time, but
Too late.
actually
Yeah.
learning how to carve the time out, which I know is like I know I'm in a very privileged position and that economically women aren't all supported to do that or in a relationship they're not supported or they just have been looking after everyone else for so long they've forgotten how to look after themselves or have never looked after themselves. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
love the idea of women-centered coaching.
Oh, do you know what? I love it so much. And what I love more than anything is watching a woman who comes in saying something like, she may have come in. I have one client who, well, several actually, who come in going, I want to stop being so grumpy with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to,
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to do things for me. They kind of come in going, I don't really know what I want, but
Mm-hmm.
and then, as we work together, it's like, well, the kids are actually, they're cleaning up after themselves and they're doing their own laundry, or I'm making time for my husband and I to actually go and do things, or
Mm,
I've decided I don't actually want to live with him anymore.
mm,
I actually want to do something different.
mm,
Or um, actually, can I share a beautiful win that I had just really recently?
mm,
So this woman, this client of mine, I can actually give her name because she's given me permission. But anyway, when I first met her in this particular container, she was really kind of lost. She had all sorts of things going on. She was in the middle of a relationship breakup, and
mhm,
she was um she was in a wheelchair and not really knowing what she wanted or where she was going, and she didn't have a
mm,
lot of confidence, and she was having to advocate for herself and not really knowing where to go and what to do and everything. And in the time that we've been working together, she's got a much better relationship with her kids.
mm,
Her ex-husband and her, they're still living together, but they've got that sorted out. But the other thing was she was recently asked if she would be the captain of the Australian parasurfing team at the World Championships, where
wow,
she is right now competing and where
wow,
she won several events. And what she said to me was she wouldn't have had the confidence, she wouldn't have even been asked a
mm,
couple of months ago to be the captain. And
mm,
she certainly wouldn't have had the confidence to take it on. And now she's like, yes, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to deal with the criticism that will come my way.
yeah,
And she really stepped into it. And I'm so excited for her. I
mm,
think, oh, I had a little part to play in that.
yeah. And I think it is possible, like wherever you are, I know a lot of women I talk to are trying to grow their business and it can feel really alone and it can feel like there are stories I see people telling themselves and there is hope. Like what you dream of, I think can really happen.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think too, when you open up the possibility, women kind of come in, I think, when I see them, a lot of them, they're really kind of bowed down and I don't know where I'm going.
Mm,
And you can see that everything changes when they realize that they might not know what they actually want right now. But as we work together, usually something will drop in and they'll go, that's what I want.
yeah.
That's where my passion is.
Yeah.
That's where my joy is. And
Mm,
I think for me, one of the things is a lot of women kind of get to this age and their life starts shrinking,
mm,
and or they feel like life is shrinking, and really the possibility is there to live the most amazing life now.
yeah, I'm so excited about this era of life, but yeah, I've had a hectic time.
Mm.
So yeah, I think that's great. I wanted you to do the vision board online or do you in person, the vision board workshop?
Do you know what? I've only ever done it in person so far,
Oh,
and people keep asking me if I'll do one online.
oh
So I'm
well,
determined to do an online one soon and just
yeah.
figure it out as I go along.
Yeah, I reckon it'd be rad. And so people can find you on Facebook and you've got a website. Can you remind me what that's called?
Oh, do you know what? My website's not really working at the
Don't look
moment.
at the website, guys. Just Facebook. But they'll find you. There'll be links underneath this if people want to follow you up and connect in. And thanks
Shan
so much for
therapy.
your time, Shan
Mm,
Therapy.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So good to see you, Shan. Thanks heaps for chatting today.
Thank you. Thank you for
Pleasure.
letting me get excited. I do get a bit overexcited,
Oh
don't
no, it's great. I feel like we could talk all day. That's the thing. I'm like, oh,
I?
I gotta just get a grip because otherwise it's going to be impossibly long. And
The day will go. Yes.
yeah, but great to see you. Thanks heaps, Shan.
Thanks very much, Natasha.
I'll see you soon.
See you later.